Welcome back to another episode in this series of why your eyesight might not be improving. So today we're going to talk about blinking. Blinking is a very natural habit that happens for all of us. We blink throughout the day. But if you work a lot on screens, you will notice that your blinking rate reduces quite a lot. I can't remember the figures, but it's something significant. Like typically some people can only blink 4 times per minute. So if you think about that, that's kind of crazy, because in the last 10 seconds I'll probably blink 4 times looking at this camera talking to you guys. So by not blinking, your eyes are starting to dry out. It's straining on your eyes, and it's just not in general a good habit for healthy, vital eyes. Bear that in mind as someone who used to not blink a lot. When I started this process of vision improvement, I started out with the Bates method, which I've talked about in a couple of videos before. I found the Bates method useful in the sense of being aware of what you're doing with your vision. But in terms of improvement, I didn't find it that useful. That's not to say that other people don't find it useful. I know there's many people out there that do find it useful, and as far as I'm concerned, however you're improving your eyesight, that's great. So keep going if you're using the Bates method and it's working for you. Perhaps it's not, then try using active focus and this reduced lens method to improve your vision. But anyway, as I was saying, with the Bates method, I found it was good reading those books to understand how you're using your vision. So there's things like central fixation, where they talk about focusing in on one point in the Bates method, or there's lots of things about exercises about relaxing your eyes. I find just the process of learning how to active focus is enough to relax my eyes, because once you do that, you understand you can't active focus without being relaxed. So that's all the relaxation exercises I need. I've learned to active focus now. When I try and see things, I relax and I focus on something, so I don't need to do the things like palming and swinging and sunning and things like that. Again, if people find them useful, have at it, go for it, that's great. But for me, active focus did it for me. So I've mentioned in videos before, I started this journey in 2008, and from there until 2017 I reduced between half and 3/4 of a diopter, from -2 down to about 1.25, and I was stuck at that point. So all I did in that time was I did some of the Bates method things, and I also heard that wearing weaker glasses would help me. So I got some weaker prescription. They were, I think, half a diopter below my full prescription. So that stopped my eyesight getting worse at least. And then I got a little bit of improvement over a 10-year period. But then once I discovered active focus in 2017, took me a while, about a year. So at the end of 2018, I learned how to do it properly. At that time, in my lunch breaks and work, I was going for a walk for half an hour every day, and I'd make sure I active focused on each lunch break. And my eyes would feel amazing after doing it, because I was bringing things that were in the distance into clarity. And when I got back to the office, then my eyes just felt really like fresh and kind of, I don't know, kind of juicy, like they're like plumped up with life, as opposed to when I used to get to the end of a working day and I was wearing my full prescription, and they feel like shriveled up prunes and sore and itchy and just uncomfortable. And when I found that out, then I was like, well, this is definitely what I should be doing. And my progress then was quite rapid. I went from -1.25 at the end of 2018 to then at the beginning of 2020, so just about 12 months, I passed the driving test then. So I went back to the opticians. I said, I think I've improved my eyesight to the point that I don't need to wear glasses when I'm driving. So in Ireland, that is 2040, you've got to be able to see. So I passed that, and from that point on, then I've not been wearing any glasses ever, and I've improved to 2020. And as I've mentioned in other videos, I can see sometimes to 2010 in the morning when I'm looking at my Snellen chart, and I take a bit of time just to focus and let the active focus get better, and just use my distance vision, because the more you use it, the better it gets. I've got a friend who's got eagle eye vision. He can see to 2010 quite readily, like just looking up at something takes a second for his eyes to adjust, and then you can see 2010. And he is like to observe him, he's got all the good habits. When you see him looking around, if he's walking in the street, just naturally, because he's a curious person, he's always looking into the distance at things. He brings them into focus. So unconsciously for him, he's preserving his distance vision because he always uses it to its full potential, to its full extent, whenever he goes out of the house and is doing things that involve distance vision. Whereas other people, they might go outside, but they're walking down the street and they're on their phone, or they're just looking at the ground and they're not really giving their eyes a chance to lose that ciliary spasm that you might have built up from, say, being in the office for the day. So these are all the good habits and bad habits that can change your vision. So it's worth bearing that in mind. The original point of the video is to talk about blinking. Keep it in mind when you're looking at screens. Blink frequently, because just naturally by looking at screens your eyes will blink less. So that's it for today's video. I hope you found it useful. Until the next one, enjoy your vision.